Hello and welcome back to our Batman the Animated Series episodes commentary. My name is Gus, but you can call me BATGUS. And today we have a very special episode here in our playlist of commentaries because we finally arrived in the episode that I call What is this show all about? Because it's probably one of the best in the top 10 lists of best Batman the Animated Series episodes. So today is the episode Almost Got Him. And if you are a fan of the show, you know very well that this is one of the craziest and one of the best plots of any episode in this series. So let's watch it together. As usual, if you want to watch it with me, let's do a countdown so you can watch in your DVD box set or Blu-ray box set or streaming service with Batman the Animated Series. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, give it a play. And the Warner Bros. Logo is on the screen. And yes, Almost Got Him is one of the episodes that everybody that makes a video about the top 10 or the top 20 or the top whatever best episodes in the show, this is probably or the number one or very high on the positions, right? Because it's a great episode. It's just a great episode where we have the villains of Batman getting together to tell stories about how they almost got him at some point of their lives. So it's an episode about flashbacks and the memories of the villains with their stories, and very fitting to the whole villain motif. They are playing poker in a bar. So this is the best element of this story. And we're going to have some of the most famous villains of Batman's Rogues Gallery. We're going to have the Joker, the Penguin, Two-Face, Killer Croc, which is not in the list of the A villains, but he's there, and Poison Ivy, right? But we're also going to have some other cameos during the episode. It's a very full story in terms of elements of the Batman lore. And we start with Joker, Two-Face, Penguin, and Killer Croc playing poker and or blackjack. I don't remember now. I never remember anything before I start the show, people. Or I start these commentaries because I want to go fresh in them and watch it with you. And yes, this is a great start already because we don't understand why these villains are together in this situation or what's going on. And it's a kind of noir vibe to the whole thing, including the soundtrack, that it's kind of jazz and blues in the background. And Poison Ivy arrived in the table, and she apparently was not invited, but she decided to join in. And it's funny, she remembers her background or her past with Harvey Dent, which probably most people forgot, right? If you are watching the show in sequence, it's hard to remember that they actually had a relationship before he turned into Two-Face, right? In the episode Pretty Poison, the 4th episode of the show. So she makes a little comment about that, which is good, and it's a acknowledgement to that story, right? So right away they start to argue about who had the best story in terms of almost get him in a situation. I mean, almost get Batman, right? They start to argue about who's the one who got the closest to actually kill Batman, and Joker decides that everybody should tell their story during the game. And we're going to start with the story of Poison Ivy. And her story is probably the weakest one, in my opinion, along with the penguin one. because she has this plan of you know, attracting Batman to this field of pumpkins, and these pumpkins are they have this poisonous gas, and they are actually bombs, right? That has this poisonous gas, and it's a Halloween night, and basically it's a very simple situation. Some of these pumpkins explode, and Batman gets intoxicated by the gas, and then he almost dies because all the other bombs explode around him. And then Batman has to come up with a plan to escape this situation, and he calls the Batmobile with his Bat belt, the controls of the Bat belt, and he calls the Batmobile. The Batmobile speeds towards Poison Ivy. She climbs one pole, but then the Batmobile hits the pole and she falls onto the field, and Batman is able to get a gas mask inside the car, and he ends up catching her. And that's it. That's the story. So Joker goes right away, exploding pumpkins. That's very weak. I'm sorry. I'm no Mark Hamill, okay? But I try sometimes. And so Two-Face goes next, and his story, I think, is a little better because he has this huge coin that he's going to use to trap Batman because he's stealing the Gotham Mint. And he has this huge coin that he will tie Batman to one side of it. And if you know the lore of Batman, you know that he has a big Two-Face coin in his Batcave. So this is maybe the origin of that coin in the Batcave, right? It is side by side with the T-Rex, and there is also a huge Joker card in some versions. So yes, I like this story because it is this origin story for the giant coin in the Batcave. So I like the whole idea of Two-Face, that he's going to use this huge what is the name again? This lift to toss the coin, and if it falls on heads, it will crush Batman, right? And if it falls on tails, it will break all Batman's bones. So he's going to toss the coin, but he also will use his coin to decide whether to do this or not, but he doesn't find it in his pockets. And then he realizes that Batman is using the coin, the side of the coin, to cut the ropes that he's tied on the giant coin. And so Two-Face tosses the coin up in the air. We have this very cool sequence where without cutting, we see Batman cutting himself out of the ropes in the coin and leaving and jumping out of the coin and saving himself. And then the coin falls over two of Two-Face's goons, which is a very violent scene because it's a cartoon, right? So obviously they don't die, but in real life they would be crushed and would be pancakes now. But anyway. And so Batman catches Two-Face, and it's another one for the count. Now we're gonna have the Killer Croc story. Although his story is the worst one because he doesn't have much to tell except that he threw a rock at Batman, and that's it. Batman was going to get him in a cave, so he threw a rock at the bat, and everybody gets disappointed with him, and he gets poor Croc. He gets sad because he doesn't have an actual story to tell. Anyway, I guess the villains are actually quite nice to let him join the group, right? Because he's not one of the greatest foes of Batman. But anyway, so now the Penguin is gonna tell his story, and his story takes place in the Gotham Zoo, where he's gonna use some birds to kill Batman. So again, it's another weak story in my opinion, because there is this giant bird that fights Batman and some other little birds that have poison in their beaks, and they use their beaks to poison Batman. So it's a whatever story. But I understand that since these are flashbacks, they can't be very developed or complicated stories. They must be simple in order to fit the runtime of the whole episode. So yeah, and so this is just another one that Batman has to escape these birds that the Penguin uses to kill him. And this is one problem of the character Penguin in this show. He never had a very good episode with him as the title villain. So far in the show, he had only the Batman in My Basement episode that is one of the worst in the whole show. And in the next season, he's gonna have one episode that Batman is blind, right? And I just remembered those. No, I'm actually wrong, because the next episode is gonna be a Penguin one, and it's a good one. I forgot about that. But this is for the next commentary, okay? I always forget about this specific episode that has the Penguin being reformed and being released from Arkham to rejoin society. It's a good one, actually. So I guess the producers were creating these episodes or writing this episode and then realized, oh, yeah, we have the Penguin. We need to use him more in the show. So there you go. He also showed up in the Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne, right, as one of the villains that were trying to get the tape of Bruce Wayne and discover his identity. So yeah, Batman fights now this huge bird, and I don't like this part of the story. I don't like Batman fighting this cute, kind animals, and if Batman fights other creatures in the show like werewolves or other kind of monstrous creatures are okay, but animals I'm not a huge fan of. He does fight a dog, right? In the episode of the Catwoman, the cat scratch fever, but that it was basically him running away from the dog and not actually fighting it. So anyway, his story ends, and now we're gonna get the best story of the bunch, of course, from the Joker. And this is the best story because it takes place last night in the story of the episode. So Joker was doing his own talk show in the previous night, and this is great because it really plays on the Joker motif. He always has these talk shows or TV shows during the series. He always presents some kind of show in the TV, which nobody knows how he's able to hack into the TV station, right, to broadcast himself for Gotham. But anyway, this also happens in Batman 89. It's a fun thing of the Joker. But he was doing this talk show, and the greatest guest of the night was, of course, Batman. And I love the fact that the show is broadcasting black and white, right? So it's a nice touch to the to the to one of the elements of the show, that is the fact that all the all the times that we have a TV set, or when Batman or Bruce Wayne is watching something on TV, is always in black and white. So this flashback in particular is also in black and white, even though it is not being watched by anyone in the episode. It's basically being shown to us as an audience. So yeah, we have Batman strapped into a electric chair, and yeah, this is very funny, very creative of the writers. So the Joker will make some jokes to the audience, I mean a fake audience, and according to the level of laughs in the audience, the laugh meter, which is a device that causes the electric chair to electrify the person strapped to it, depending on the level of the laughs, the level of the electricity will be higher. So it's a wonderful way to torture Batman. So he keeps doing these terrible jokes with the help of Harley Quinn. By the way, she's here also in the show. So that's what I mentioned about cameos. And the laugh meter starts to go up and electrifying Batman more and more. And this is very cool. I mean, it's very creative, what I mean. And the Joker actually, he pierces a sausage in a fork and puts on the electricity to cook the sausage. So very funny. And then Catwoman arrives for some reason. She arrives and comes to save Batman from the danger he is. So it's a great inversion of roles, right? And I love the fact that we have the two pairs, the pairs of heroes like Batman and Catwoman in this case, against the pair of villains with the Joker and Harley. So this is very fun and a cool element. She saves Batman and he's able to escape from the electric chair. And then we cut back to the villains, and this is very funny because we cut back to the villains, then we go back to the story again in black and white, and we see what happened after the talk show was cut from TV. And we see that the Joker tried to escape and Catwoman caught him, but then she was caught by Harley that used her, her gun that has this boxing glove on the tip. And she hits Catwoman in the head and knocks her out. And now Catwoman is trapped somewhere. And this is what the story revolves around, because while they're here playing poker, Batman is probably after Catwoman to save her. But how can he know where she is if he didn't use a plan to hide among the villains and discover the information? So the Joker reveals to the group of villains that the Catwoman is in a certain place, a factory of cat food, and all of a sudden Croc stands up from his chair with Batman's voice and tosses Joker far away into another table. So it is revealed that Killer Croc is actually Batman in disguise. So that's very good, very a great plot element. And the villains, they all think they catch Batman because he's alone, but the Batman snaps his fingers and it is revealed that all the bar is filled with cops. And they all point their guns to the villains, including Commissioner Gordon, so they are all arrested. And then we cut to the cat food factory, where we see Catwoman tied into this treadmill that will take her to a grinder that will smash her and turn her into cat's foods as well. So Batman arrives, and Harley tries to gamble with the Batman, you know, like she tries to threat him in case he doesn't comply. She will pull a lever to take Catwoman to the grinder and kill her, but then using his wit, Batman is obviously smarter, and he's able to catch Harley Quinn and use another lever near another wall to shut off the grinder, so Catwoman escapes her death in the last second. And then we have the ending of the episode that has Batman and Catwoman on a roof, and they have this romantic dialogue. She mentions the fact that they both saved each other that night, and they talk about living a life one day maybe without masks. And Batman does his old thing of disappearing once somebody turns their back. So when Catwoman looks back at him, he's gone, and she says the classic line, "Almost got him." And this is very cool. And this is it. This great episode, Almost Got Him. If you are liking the content of BATGUS, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Batman the Animated Series episodes commentaries. And also don't forget to watch the other videos here in the channel about Batman and DC Universe. See you in the next Bat video, and bye-bye.